All right, welcome to the Unapologetic Chauvinist. This is Justice, your host. I didn't want to touch this issue, but the comments that I'm hearing from people in person and the comments on social media are driving me crazy. So I decided that I wanted to publicly state my opinion. That way, I don't have to keep repeating myself. I can say, well, go check my YouTube channel out. You'll see what I think about this. Anyways, came out that Trump made racist statements towards four congresswomen, three of which are actually of American descent or American citizens born here, and one was naturalized from Somalia. And so there's this big controversy about all of this, and I want to talk about it, and let's look at it and see if this language is racist, right?
Weed out of our nation because
a firestorm of reactions continuing today to a series of tweets from President Trump targeting a group of Democratic congresswomen. The president saying they should go back to the broken and crime-infested places from which they came.
That's a racist tweet. Telling people to go back where they came from?
All four women are U.S. citizens and all but one were born in the U.S.
It's really a sad state of affairs when the President of the United States is going to use race in a way that divides the country, and then
and let me pause right there, because a lot of news stations only show part of the tweet, so that's why I use this clip from MSNBC, because at least they gave you a glance at the entire tweet. So let's look at this tweet and read it, starting from the top. So interesting to see progressive Democrat congresswomen who originally came from countries whose governments are a complete and total catastrophe, the worst, most corrupt, and inept anywhere in the world, if they even have a functioning government at all, now loudly and viciously telling the people of the United States, the greatest and most powerful nation on earth, how our government is to be run. Why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came? Then come back and show us how it's done, how it is done, These places need your help badly. You can't leave fast enough. I'm sure that Nancy Pelosi would be very happy to quickly work out free travel arrangements. Okay, so that's the entire tweet. I'm gonna say this to you guys. It's not looking racist to me. And I wanna say that if you haven't seen a photograph of me and you don't know what I look like, I want you to know that I'm not what you would consider white. All right? Just to say that. I don't really like the title black because I don't think it describes my people. And when I say my people, I really mean Americans. Americans are a mixture of different ethnicities. So I don't just subscribe to that philosophy of being black. People can fight me on that, whatever. Leave a comment and we'll discuss that further. But I'm not going to touch on that. But when you say that this is a racist tweet by saying, why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came. And only one person is actually an immigrant, which is Omar, and her country, in all actuality, is still going through a lot of trouble. You have, you had the issues with the Somalian pirates and all of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff still going on over there. So it's not like what he said was not factual. What he said was false in the sense that there are multiple congresswomen who are from other countries. That's not truthful. All right. And MSNBC was very poignant to point out that only one of them is actually immigrated here. She immigrated here at 10 years old. And for me, I think she's in her 30s or something like that. So for all intent and purposes, she's American in my eyes. I said the same thing about 21 Savage, who came here when he was 9 years old. All right. And he was here for like 20 years. And I mean, so you grew up here, you came into maturity here as an adult. And so in my mind, you're American. in the sense of geographical raising. But then we have this question about where's your allegiance? Okay. Then we have this question of where is your allegiance? But there's no hidden, veiled racism in this comment. I'm sorry. If I love the place, and this is another thing I understand that she left Somalia at 10. But if you love that place, and we don't know, maybe she is doing things to support Somalia. I don't know. It's not public. So I'm going to guess not much. But if you love a place, you try to help it. I'm from the city of Baltimore, Maryland. Okay. I spent over 10 years of my life trying to make Baltimore a better place. Okay. I stopped or took breaks when I was experiencing burnout. Okay. And then when you feel like you can't do anything further, you leave. Right. But then when you love a place, you don't just leave and don't assist. Right. Or you find a way to assist. So, you know, for all of the liberals who want to help Honduras, excuse me, you know, the Colombians, Mexicans, Somalians, Syrians, go volunteer and help those people in their nation. If your heart is really there, like if you really have like missionaries, I respect missionaries because they actually go places and say, I want to help these people. We have folks who run for Congress and complain about America and America's policies. And let me say, America's policies are not perfect. Trust me, there are a lot that I disagree with. Trust me. But what I'm not going to do is sit in the body of government and then bash the country publicly. Publicly. In fact, you show foreign enemies that there is disunity in this country. And any foreign enemy who's clever and wise and strategic, I love the game of chess, would exploit that disunity. And that's what's happening between the president and the Congress. Okay, the Republicans and the Democrats. I, again, don't have a dog in the race. Not a supporter of Nancy Pelosi, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, any of them. Okay, wasn't a supporter of Barack Obama. Wasn't a supporter of Bush. Okay, wasn't a supporter of Clinton, the administrations I lived through. Okay. None of them. And any other Speaker of the House from Newt Gingrich and all the rest of them. If you look at their voting records, most of them are a sham in the first place. But you common man, are being coerced to believe that this was a racist statement because to fuel further division is what keeps you from focusing on the fact that most of politics is a chess game in the first place. And you exist as a pawn on the front lines. Okay? And the bishops and the queens and the rooks and the knights, they hide behind pawns. Be careful. But let me finish this clip. I don't want to go into a whole rant. I'll touch on that chess game analogy in another video.
Be ignorant about who all these people are.
The president did not mention the lawmakers by name. Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, and Ilhan Omar of Minnesota shot back at the president. Omar saying his comments are...
And before we go further, I haven't seen a tweet where he mentioned them by name either. Maybe I missed it or something. I'll do some more research on that. I heard a claim that he later mentioned them by name on Monday. Okay. Today is Tuesday, July 16th, so you know when I'm making this. But apparently there was a tweet from Monday, or allegedly there was a tweet on Monday where he mentioned them by name. But that was only after they've responded, if I'm not mistaken. And so ask yourself, why would these 4 women, in which 3 of them, the tweet doesn't even apply, would stand up to say something to him? There's a game being played. There's a game being played. And you're like the piece on the board. You're not playing the game. You're just like a manipulative on the game board. It's like a game of Monopoly. You're the shoe or the dog. You're not rolling the dice. Pay attention. And this so-called stoking white nationalism, as this Omar tweet. Listen, if you come in my house and you disrespect me and tell me how to run my house and raise my children, I'm gonna tell you, you can go home. And I'm gonna be frank with you. He could have said things worse than go home, go back to where you're from and help fix. And not only that, he said, come back and show us how it's done. If we're messing this up, right, we can't do it here. You go home and solve that issue over there and then come back. He said, stay. He said, you can come back and show us how it's done. But don't sit up here and try to tell us how to fix what's going on here. And your country of origin is in chaos. And you're not lending the education the Western education you have received to support your nation. He's essentially pointing out the hypocrisy of those who want to lean on their foreign heritage, but then don't want to do anything for their country of origin or for the place that their heritage resides. Again, and I'm going to say this, and people who say they're black are going to get mad at me. I know actual black people here who subscribe to Afrocentric philosophies, and they actually spend time and go back to Africa and do things and support in Africa. That's commendable and respectable. I'm not going to say any names because they probably don't agree with this video and my politics. We don't always agree, but these people that I'm referring to, we have mutual respect because we practice what we preach. We don't just preach. Anyway, let's keep going.
Stoking white nationalism. The progressive congresswomen are vocal critics of the president and have been at odds with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, at times a public and personal spat, while the president trying to exploit that division between Pelosi and the most liberal members of her caucus.
He
has apparently done the opposite.
That the president is helping unify the Democratic Party.
Pelosi slamming the president's attack, saying he wants to make America white again. Greg Boswell, NBC News.
And real quick, you know, I've turned out a minute and 24-second video into who knows how long. The issue, with him unifying the Democratic Party, it's something people should pay attention to, in the sense that that party is going to move even further to the left, which is not about freedom, even though they tote the name of being liberal. And not liberal at all, because when it comes to views that are contrary to their own, the only way they deal with them is by calling you xenophobic, racist, homophobic, or whatever other phobia or name they could come up with for you to make you go back under the rock that you've been hiding your political views under. Okay? As I said in my other video about the LGBT agenda and the suspension of the 10-year-old girl in the UK, dissent is not tolerated by the left. But you better dissent. And even if you are a registered Democrat, Independent, or Republican, you better dissent. Disagree with your party, disagree with your local municipal politicians, disagree with the state level politicians. If they're wrong, dissent as soon as possible. Don't wait till things hit the fan and then you want to dissent because things are catastrophic. You better do something before it's too late. More importantly, support your neighbors. Help those in trouble. As if you're waiting on government to help you, good luck. Anyway, God bless and good day.